Hi there, students. I wanted to talk to you about the social studies assignment for life as a Mayan priest. Some students are having a little bit of difficulty doing some of these assignments, so I wanted to make sure you know where the information is and how to access that information. Also, I want you to know what I'm looking for. So, in this paragraph that you're writing, you are going to be looking in the McGraw-Hill Social Studies textbook, and your job is to write one developed paragraph from chapter number 16, lesson number 2, and it's in the first 3 pages where it talks about the Mayas. And I want you to look at where priests fit in to the Mayan social structure, what roles they filled, and why a priest would do a human sacrifice, who would be sacrificed, and why would priests watch stars. So go through, and here is the text where it talks about the Mayas. And if you look at page 2, it starts talking about the society. And it talks about here that nobles and priests assisted kings in governing the city states. And so that shows that priests were very important in Mayan culture. And the Mayan priests, being so important, were very influential. And they believed that the gods controlled here, right here, the Maya believed that the gods controlled everything that happened on earth, and priests performed ceremonies to please gods, and these ceremonies sometimes included human sacrifice. And, well, why would they sacrifice humans? Well, the Maya priests right here tried to please their god Chak, the god of rain, by offering the lives of their captives. So when we go back to this page, it talks about how the Maya were city states connected by culture, political ties, and trade. How often they often fought each other for control of territory. So that's something that's unique to the Mayas, that they would attack each other. They weren't all one civilization that lived cohesively and in harmony, but they were a bunch of independent city states that sometimes would battle each other. That should be familiar to what we talked about with Mesopotamia earlier in the year. So you've got all of that with priests there, and why they would sacrifice people and what their role was in society. So the Maya rulers turned to priests for advice, and they thought that the gods revealed their plans through the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. And so they watched the sky and tried to make predictions about what would happen. And so they developed two different calendars, one to schedule religious festivals and predict eclipses, and the other that they would use for planting crops. So that is where you're going to find the information about Mayan priests. And as we've looked at, there are a lot of different sentences you can use that you can cite in your paragraph. Now, what am I talking about citing sources? So again, as with every paragraph I've been asking you to write, you're writing an informative paragraph. So you want to not put in any I statements. I don't want to know your opinion. This should read as if it is an encyclopedia article. So it needs to be written entirely in your own words, with the exception of the two direct citations. So you're going to pull some citations into your writing that help support your argument or your point that you're going to make. So you need to have a clearly defined topic sentence. Now, many students are coming up with topic sentences that are too general. Some students, the topic sentences are so specific, it's essentially just a fact. So we talked about topic sentences before school was canceled. So just remember, your topic sentence tells what the paragraph is going to be about. It needs to be general enough that everything can fit, everything that you're talking about fits under that topic. Then you want to have at least 6 supporting sentences. You'll want to go through and edit it to make sure you don't have any errors with your conventions, make sure the language is correct, and then work on an effective concluding sentence, a sentence that wraps up your information. And then think about the transitions between ideas. Make sure that your ideas make sense in how you're presenting them. And you'll want to have use some of those transition words that you've talked about in language arts with Ms. Dent. So when going through and citing your sources, we're using the RACES method, where you restate your topic. So right here, you're restating your topic. And so that is where you are putting in your topic sentence. So you're restating the topic. And then you're answering your topic. So that is where you are talking about so where did Mayan priests fit in society? Is your prompt. So you might answer that. Mayan priests fit into Mayan society because they were very important to the ruler or the emperors. That's not a very good one, but you could expand on that and make it better. So, for example, you could say something along the lines of, Mayan priests were essential to the social structure of Mayan culture because they were very important in helping set policy for the civilization. So you could come up with something along those lines. Then you need to cite evidence from your book. That's where you're going to pull a sentence out of the text that supports your topic. And then you are going to explain how that citation supports your paragraph. So when you're citing something, you're going to say something along the lines of, according to the text, or the text says, and then you give your citation. On page 143, it says blank, blah, 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 blah. And then you go on and do that. And then that you are going to explain where or why your citation supports the topic sentence. And so this explains why Mayans, used human sacrifice. This shows the importance of religion in Mayan culture. So that is where you're going to go through. And then finally, you need to sum it up with a concluding sentence, something that wraps it up. Remember, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And then finally, for assignment number 2, you need to go back through all of the different writing that you've turned in, all of the different paragraphs, and then you need to look at the feedback that I've provided you. And then I want you to go back and revise and edit and choose one of those paragraphs and make that paragraph better. And then you're going to resubmit it. So that is what I'm looking for you to do this week for social studies.